Hey guys, it's Adam Black here again from Country's Family Reunion. You know, we've been producing series like Country's Family Reunion for almost 30 years. Well, back in 2013, we decided we were going to get together, our group, and we were going to sing some old country songs and also some patriotic songs. And we called the series God Bless America Again. We want to share part of that series with you right now. This is the second episode of the series, and if you missed the first one, you just click right up here to go watch it, and then you can come back to this one and continue your enjoyment of our patriotic series. This particular episode features our Country's Family Reunion band, Jimmy Fortune and Lee Greenwood, singing a little song we like to call God Bless the USA. It's really quite amazing, and the story he tells around it is just phenomenal. You're not going to want to miss a second. Let's begin.
Our reunion this time is called God Bless America Again, a mixture of some patriotic music and some gospel music. Jimmy Fortune, when I look at the title of the song that you're going to sing, it looks like it could be patriotic or gospel or a little bit of both.
Well, it pretty much is a little bit of both, you know, because I wrote this with a friend of mine, Justin Peters, and we got together one day, and this, you know, it always comes up when, you know, at some time or another, somebody's trying to take God out of something, out of prayer, out of school, you know, or out of the Pledge of Allegiance or something like that. And we were talking about it that day, and you hear a lot about that, so we thought we'd just write a song about it because let's face it, I mean, they can take it out of our courthouses and wherever they want to take it out, but if it's engraved in your heart,
there you go.
Amen.
They can't take it out of there. So that's why we wrote the song. And like
It's called In God We Trust.
In God We Trust.
Great title.
Here we go, boys. A nation built on sacrifice, soldiers and their families who've paid the highest price to give their all, to heed the call, to keep us all alive and freedom standing tall. Through war and troubled times we have endured, but with these words we have been secure. In God we trust. How can we turn away our faces? In God we trust, the giver of our liberty. We must not forget our freedom, only want Him when we need Him. Four words that say so much, in God we trust. I pledge allegiance to the flag. The thought of leaving God's name out, it makes me sad. 'Cause our children's hope we can't neglect, because we want to be politically correct. One nation under God that keeps us strong, and by His grace we will carry on. In God we trust. How can we turn away our faces? In God we trust, the giver of our liberty. We must not forget our freedom, only want Him when we need Him. Four words that say so much, in God we trust. 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 It did.
In the words of Eddie Stubbs, are there any questions?
Yeah.
My goodness, Jimmy.
That boy can sing tenor to a dog whistle.
That's terrific. You're looking forward to following that, aren't you?
Oh, my word. All I can say is I guarantee you one thing, gang. Don't worry about me hitting a high note like that. I can't even think that high.
Great. What a great
Mercy,
song,
what a
Jimmy.
great
My
song.
goodness. Really great.
Leave it to Jimmy Fortune to come up with a way to say what needs to be said.
Man, everything he writes, he's just anointed. Jimmy,
Yeah.
you're just a great, great writer.
It all comes from him. It doesn't come from me.
You're not dropped the set out of your ring.
This speaker is going to haunt
Somebody
me the rest
dropped
of
the
my
offering.
life. Set fell out of my ring.
You know, somehow I thought this show might be serious, but this group couldn't be serious. I don't care what we're talking about.
Not all together.
No.
You're going to do a song very different from what Jimmy did, and a song that comes from a very different place and perspective. And you were sharing with me in the dressing room back there. Well, we weren't in the dressing room together, but
You weren't supposed to tell that part. Tell it all, brother.
Tell it all.
share the story about this song that you were sharing with me, because this is very powerful.
Okay, well, we have done this song before, and I told about how I sang it, you know, grow up, and it was a way my mother taught me to pray because I was afraid, and she said, no, you just talk to Jesus like he was a friend. So the song's always meant a lot to me, but anyway, I was looking up to see where the song came from and something about it, and it was written by a man named Joseph Scriven, and he did not mean for it to be a song. He was from Ireland, and he was 25 years old, engaged to be married, and the night before the wedding, his fiancée died in an accidental drowning. And he was heartbroken, and to just start a new life, he left Ireland and moved to Canada. And there again fell in love again, and she took ill and before the marriage. So he just then, to save his shattered life, he turned to God and dedicated his life to working, manually, physically working, and everything for the poor. And just dedicated his life to that. And later on, his mother was ill in Ireland, and he couldn't afford to go back to see her, so he wrote her a letter of comfort and enclosed this poem he had written called What a Friend We Have in Jesus. Oh. Later, when he was ill, a friend found it when he was sitting with him, and I guess talked to this Charles Converse, who was a known musician at the time, who then put a melody to it. And it was included in a hymnal psalm book, and the man put it was the last one I put in the book, but it's the first one in favor. Mm. And one other thing I read about it, it said this piece of work is not one of the greatest literary pieces or musically done, but the fact that its simplicity and the simple, direct truth, if you will, there again, the word truth came out, and the simplicity of the music has the ability to reach and comfort people. Amen. And has since it was written. The other thing about it is recently I worked a show up in Canada with Mo Bandy and did a little side trip into a little town called Port Hope, Ontario, Canada, and I was so fascinated by this little town, and things just keep coming back, connections somehow to that. And recently I met the parents of the two little girls on the series Nashville, and Gene, my husband, said, where are y'all from? And he said, you've never heard of it. It's a little town called Port Hope, Ontario, Canada. And we said, we've been there and loved it. And when I read through it, said this song was written by Joseph Scriven in 1857 in Port Hope, Ontario, Canada. And I said, well, then I'm supposed to sing this song today. So,
oh, that's a great song.
But is it time?
It is time.
After that. And I also said that we, even though I've known this song for so long, we used to call it a mental block, you know. But here lately, everybody keeps telling me their senior moments. I've decided I'm having senior minutes. They're lasting longer than they used to. So I want all of you to sing along, because I didn't know I could cheat like Jim Ed and Gene Shepard and have lyrics. So y'all sing with me. Between all of us, we'll remember
That
this,
mic won't
okay?
That mic won't work.
Okay.
In Jesus, all our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer.
Jeannie Seely, the country classic, singing a great gospel classic. It just doesn't get any better than that. And this special presentation of God Bless America Again is brought to you by Easy Play Music. We've partnered with Easy Play Music to create these music sticks on a USB and a little speaker that goes with it, and it's the easiest thing in the world. You just plug the USB into the speaker and it starts playing right away. We thought, let's make it as simple as possible to get the music you want. No cloud to deal with, no subscriptions to deal with, just Easy Play Music and Easy Play Music sticks. So you can find it all at easyplaymusic.com/CFR. Check it out. Stick around. We've got some wonderful tunes from Rhonda Vincent and a guy named Lee Greenwood coming up.
This would be a great time to introduce the band, except they're going to do an instrumental in a minute. But I just want to go on record as saying he worked for me for 16 years. Mike Johnson ain't right. You just ain't right, boy.
Thank you.
They are so good.
That was a great story she told, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. You know, it reminded me a little bit. Remember the story George Hamilton told on here about the guy that wrote Amazing Grace when he was out on the ship? Is that that kind of a story? Maybe that's where the great songs really come from.
I think what hit me the most was saying the simplicity, the direct, plain truth. Everybody can understand what that says. It just simply tells you in the simplicity of the music, which there again, that's why God uses country music, because we're simply the truth.
That's right.
Didn't you tell me that they have erected a statue to John Scribner in Port Hope, Ontario?
Yes, they have. It's out on the highway toward Lake Ontario, and to commemorate the wonderful work that he did there. And so I will be going back to Port Hope somehow.
What a great name for the town.
I know, I love
Yeah.
that.
That says something.
And
in
one
itself.
more wonderful thing about that town, they've got a dog cafe.
They have what? They serve dogs?
Yes, they have a dog cafe, and the sign says, don't get something wonderful to eat to go for lunch and then leave your pet in the car while you go eat it. It said, go get you something wonderful and come into the dog cafe. And they have tables set up, and chairs, and they have dogs that live there, the little miniature, what was Patton's dog? That little
Mean son of a gun.
whatever, that's the kind of dogs they have there. And they have a dish of treats in the middle of the table, and the dogs don't get them any other time. But when anyone comes into the store, the cafe, they'll all go and sit in one of those chairs and wait, because they know that you then will get a treat and slide it across the table to them.
That's how things are at my house.
I have a picture of Gene Ward having lunch with the dog, so that's even more special.
Jim Ed, I know that gospel music is big in your life and always has been. You and Maxine and Bonnie were as good as has ever been anybody doing gospel songs and religious music.
I have been looking around this audience here today. I don't see anybody that wasn't raised in church. Everybody here, is there anybody here that wasn't raised in church? Ray Stevens might not have been.
I know.
My mama was a Sunday school teacher, and I had to put on that suit every Sunday and be there.
That's how come he knew that
And why have I impressed you that way?
Well, anybody that can do the Mississippi squirrel,
Has been in church.
Has been in church, that's right.
That's very true. Through my career, Bill, I guess I've recorded close to 1,000 songs. And going into the studio all those days, and I'm sure that most of you all have done the same thing, but most of the fun that I ever had in recording was when we were doing the old gospel songs, the hymns. Because, we were raised on them, we knew them, we did them our way. Sometimes the words were not like what what they're supposed to be, but they were like we learned them. But it was just so great, and hearing these songs today is unbelievable. I love it. And I love to sing along with them. That's the only thing. I hope they got my microphone off most of the time.
Well, it's kind of like when Jeannie was talking about how the songs and the truth that they have in them. There's a pastor at Woodstock, Georgia, Johnny Hunt, and he made the statement about what those songs actually meant when somebody was writing them. Because just as we live a country song, when someone wrote a tune like that, it's when they were in the darkest depth of needing literally the amazing grace of God, and then understanding what a friend, when everybody else will forsake you, what a friend you can have in Jesus. Johnny made this statement. He said, he said, I love them all, but he said, I tell you one thing. He said, I love the ones that people wrote before they got paid for them.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's a good line.
Ooh. And I thought, man, that's pretty profound, because that's exactly where it came from. It came from their heart. And that's why it's so touching.
Y'all know the story about the gentleman they were in England. He and his family, his wife and his 4 daughters, daughters, I think, were in England, and they had to come back to America before he did. And the ship went down and sank with his wife and his 4 children. And he came over later that week, and he asked the captain of the ship to show him the spot where they went down. And he stood at the rail and he wrote, "When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul." I'm not sure I have that much spiritual awakening to have been able to do that, but how many hundreds of millions of people has that song blessed? He wasn't a songwriter. He was a man who lost his wife and 4 kids and wanted to tell God that he still loved him in spite of all that.
Yeah.
So before he wrote I love it, before he made a living at it.
Was that amazing how everybody started singing?
It was.
Everybody
very
started
amazing.
singing.
Sometimes a gospel song, not necessarily through any fault of its own, but for different reasons, will branch out and become in the public consciousness. The song you're about to sing, Jim Ed, was one that Willie Nelson took. And I don't think he was necessarily trying to do a gospel record or what. He was just kind of sharing the news and the up-tempo message of this song. And he reached millions of people who wouldn't necessarily tune in and listen to gospel or church music.
And this is not the only gospel song that he wrote, He's written quite a few.
Family
but anyway,
Bible?
you know what?
Well, I don't think he wrote this song.
Well, he took it, so I know,
popularized
but I'm going to have some help on this song. I have been wanting to do this since whenever I decided to, come to Nashville. And the Maxine and Bonnie would not come with me. But there's a group that's been on the Opry all this time, and they're a family group, and everybody loves them, and I do too. And I've been wanting to sing with those girls. Now, I don't know about the hairy-legged old dad, that's going to be out there. But
He's part of the package, I guess.
but Buck, we got Bucks to sing bass. The reason that I have the charts up, to help with the words, is because Cheryl didn't know all the words.
I'll take it. You can use me.
But anyway,
It'll help us all.
What a thrill. Is Buck going to be over here? Is Buck in the middle? What a thrill it is to sing with these girls and boys, because they've been doing these songs for years also. And I know that they were raised in church. But I love to sing. Yes, and why am I talking? My wife says, "Jim Ed, you talk too much. Quit." Bless you. So.
This is just my chance to play like I'm Maxine. I always wanted to.
Yeah.
I love those girls to pieces.
She's a wild one.
Sharon gets to be Bonnie.
This is a song called "An Uncloudy Day," fellas.
Yeah.
Oh, they tell me of a home far beyond the sky, and they tell me of a land far away, and they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an uncloudy day. Oh, the land of cloudless days. sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an uncloudy day.
Oh, they tell me of a home where my friends have gone. Oh, they tell me of a home far away, where the tree of life in eternal blue sheds its fragrance through an uncloudy day.
Oh, the land of cloudless day. Oh, the land of an uncloudy sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an uncloudy day. Oh, they tell me that he smiles on his children there, and his smile drowns the sorrows all away. And they tell me no tears ever come again in that land of an uncloudy day. Oh, the land of cloudless days. Oh, the land of an uncloudy sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an uncloudy day. Once more, everybody. Oh, the land of cloudless days. Oh, the land of an uncloudy sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an uncloudy day.
Well, you saw it and heard it first on Country's Family Reunion. A new act is born.
The browns and the whites.
The browns and whites.
That was too slow. Maxine and Bonnie better come up here and, watch out.
Bill,
I got some partners now.
here, a few years ago, I went to Austria with Rose Maddox.
Ooh, I love her.
We went to this guy's house. He had a little studio set up. Sang that song. It's one of the best. Rose just reared back and got it. And I said, I hate you. No, she was wonderful. And we had a guy by the name of Brian Sklar from Canada played the fiddle. But it's one of the best records I ever heard. And boy, Rose was right on it. Me and her used to fuss and argue, but she was a great, great entertainer.
She was terrific. Rhonda Vincent was sitting over there while they were singing. Not only was she singing, she got her mandolin and was playing along.
Yeah.
You should have just come on up here and joined in.
Y'all get Clint Black and Jack Green, and be the Browns, the Whites, the Blacks, and the Greens.
Yeah.
Rhonda was a part of our bluegrass taping that we did a few days ago. And, of course, she can hold her own with any of the bluegrass people. And just did a terrific job.
She just looks a little better doing it.
I thought the duet, Darren Vincent and Rhonda and Jamie Daly was with y'all on that. I thought that was one of the...
That's a special time.
One of the highlights.
We don't really get to sing a lot together, and it was really a special day.
I hit my mandolin on the rocking chair. I'm not used to sitting in a rocking chair playing this. Are we, Buck?
Did you say
He's
you
got
want me
his
to...
under the rocking chair. That's...
The other day, I noticed, tell me the why. Nobody here is really doing it. On the Bluegrass show, everybody kept their instruments with them at their chair.
We are most comfortable. I noticed that with almost every mandolin player. They have the mandolin in their arms, but that's where I think we're most comfortable.
Were they afraid somebody was going to steal it?
Maybe. Depends on if they've got a lure or not. One of those expensive mandolins.
No, but I thought that said it was almost like everybody was saying, this instrument is a part of me. You know, it's a part
It really
of
is.
my body.
It becomes a part of you, and you're more at ease, and it's more natural.
Is this a gospel song or a patriotic song?
It is a patriotic song. It's one that was written by Mike Deacle, and I had the honor of singing this on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry at an award show. And as we sang this, it was in 2006, and one of the greatest moments of my career. And we had all of these veterans who joined us and stood, active duty soldiers, men and women. And as I sang this song, because it has some significant years, it talks about 1941, 1961, and 1991. And some very significant years, and there were soldiers and men from all branches of the service, men and women, and veterans. And so as we talked about their branch, they would walk out, and it was very, very special. Something that was, Bobby Osborne is a veteran of World War II who was on the bluegrass, Simply Bluegrass. And I don't know that he talks about it this much, and I hope he doesn't mind that I share this with you, but he was a man, I guess you never leave a soldier behind.
Right.
He was left behind. And there was another soldier that was injured. He carried his fellow soldier and carried them out. So a pretty amazing story that he has, if he shares that with you at some point. But he was there that night, and not with, he didn't have his hat on that he normally wears. And I heard later from some folks, because he stood to my left, and as they were sitting in the audience, they said, "You know what, that guy, you put a hat on him, he looked just like Bobby Osborne." And it was, they just didn't know it.
That's great.
But this is one that's called "Till They Came Home." Times were hard, but they were fun. In 1941, the year that Jim and Catherine fell in love. They were graduating college. Their heads were full of knowledge and visions of taking on the world. But Uncle Sam and those Pearl Harbor bombs pulled Jim away from Catherine's arms. Then along came Vietnam in 1961, the year that Bob and Mandy said I do. They bought a house outside the city where everything was sitting pretty. But again, old Uncle Sam said, "I need you." Bob said, "Mandy, honey, I'll be back. Don't you worry, you can count on that." And as the headlines roll, every mother prayed, every father laid awake the whole night through. Every brother bragged, every sister cried, every hometown across this land holds on till they came home. Times were hard, but they were fun. In 1991, the year that John and Sally said goodbye, he held 2 kids in his arms as she left for Desert Storm. John could see the sadness in her eyes. He watched her sail away, navy blue, up on the quarterdeck in full salute. And as the headlines roll, every mother prayed, every father laid awake the whole night through. Every brother bragged, every sister cried, every hometown across this land held on till they came home. Some came home as heroes, proud to be back. Some came home as heroes, covered with the flag. And as the headlines roll, every mother prayed, every father laid awake the whole night through. Every brother bragged, every sister cried, every your service.
What a pretty song. Pretty song. Pretty lady sang it beautifully, too.
We
with
were there that night. You
the
did
help
that.
of these pretty good musicians up here. Y'all think we need to keep them? Real quick, we'll go across the stage and introduce each one of them. And, you know, it's amazing. Mike, how long? You've had pretty much the same group on Country's Family Reunion for several years.
Yeah, we got about the original bunch, pretty close. I think Hank's kind of new and John, but everybody else has been here the whole time.
And that's been 16 years. Nobody keeps a band together for 16 years, do they?
That's as long as I was with you.
Our band fired us about every 3
Johnson
years.
and Johnson and Singer and Singer. How's that work?
And no relation, any of them. The band leader, he is in charge of all the arrangements, and he does such a great job on the steel guitar from Montgomery, Alabama, Mr. Mike Johnson.
Steel driving man.
And the other Johnson hiding behind the piano over there, one of the best. You've probably played on more records from people in this room. Anybody wants a piano player with a good left hand, they know who to call. The great Mr. Dirk Johnson. Am I right, Gene Watson?
You got it right.
Two singers, and neither one of them is a singer. I mean, you don't sing. One of the greatest fiddle players. Hank, where are you from? I should know. Midland, Texas. Mr. Hank Singer playing the fiddle. David Smith got to show off a little on that bass a while ago. That was really good. David, forgive me for asking, for not knowing. You're from? Well, you're just from right up the road. You didn't have far to come. Great bass player, David Smith. And the newest member of is it the Nashville Musicians Hall of Fame? Is that the official name? Congratulations to the sheriff. We all know him. Of course, if you watch Larry's Country Diner, you see him being the Barney Fife of Larry's Cafe from the state of North Carolina, the great Mr. Jimmy Capps. I know where John Gardner's from, because John Gardner's from the same town where I was born, right? Columbia, South Carolina. Great drummer, holds it all together. Mr. John Gardner back there behind the plastic. Cropsey, Illinois. Boy, that's a big town, ain't it? He was named for Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs. His full name is Lester Earl, but we just call him Les, Mr. Les Singer on the acoustical guitar and the banjo sometimes.
And how many years he been with you?
How many years? Since you've been with me 32 years. 32 years.
Wow.
That's twice 16, Mike.
Yeah, that's good.
No, he has been wonderful and helping us with all the background vocals of it. Now, are y'all officially known as like the Grand Ole Opry background singers now, or three of you are? Everybody but Jamie. Yeah. Mr. Dennis McCall on the end there. Miss Nora Lee Allen. And Nora Lee and Dwayne Allen's daughter, Jamie Allen Martin.
That's Jamie.
Finally, let Rod Fletcher come sing some bass with us. Great to have Rod Fletcher, all the background singers. Y'all are all terrific. Mike, I think y'all have worked up a version of a patriotic type song, haven't you?
I hope you recognize it.
All right.
goodness.
How many nights did you stay up on that ending?
Not enough.
That was incredible. This land is your land. I turned to Larry Gatlin when it first started. I said, I'm trying to remember who wrote this, and you took out your iPhone and found out who wrote it.
Yes.
Woody Guthrie?
It says Woody Guthrie. Yeah.
This land is your land.
Well, that
Old
makes
comics
sense.
Yeah.
way back.
In fact, he's the first one to record it.
No, Wanda Guthrie. No, it's Woody. No, Wanda, the country for Wanda. Wanda Jackson Guthrie. No, I don't.
That's great. Thank you.
About it.
I guess
Lord,
during...
I'm sorry I act like that. I just don't know why I do that.
Sit down, Larry. I think during our lifetimes, those of us in this room, probably the one song of patriotism that has been created and sung more than any other and speaks to our generation and younger people and older people and just about everybody is the song that our buddy Lee Greenwood wrote called God Bless the USA.
You got that right.
I don't think I have ever asked you how you came to write this song.
I was raised in California, and so I'm a little bit different than most of the people raised in the South. My mother and father were divorced when I was a year old because of World War II. She didn't understand him joining the Navy. We lost the men at Pearl Harbor that my father felt compelled to do that. She was left at home raising 2 young kids. My sister is 3 years older than me. Patricia still lives in California. And so we were shipped up to the farm when things got tough. And I was raised on a farm in Sacramento, California. So we learned things like your handshake is your word. You help your neighbor when he needs help. And we sat on the front porch husking corn. We call it husking out in California, not shucking corn. Like my wife Kim says, no, it's shucking. No, it's husking. And breaking the string bean. I hate to eat a string bean with the strings on it, so we'd always make sense. At the age of 10, 11, 12, I could actually cut the heads off 4 chickens, pick them, and have them in the freezer in about 10 minutes. Whoa. So we were kind of sharecroppers, but we were farmers. And I wish my kids now could grow up like I did, because you learn about the rural parts of the land, I think, that are important and ingrained in your head when you get into city life. When you get into places where you know there's white-collar work and you get away from the standards of just taking care of the earth. My grandparents knew that it was important for me to have faith, and they sent me to the First Baptist Church. And we talk about who in this room might not be in church. I sang in the First, not you, Ray. and I sang in the First Baptist Church in the choir. And let me tell you, that was the most inspiring time of my life, because I learned harmony. Mm-hmm. I learned how to sing. And the funny part is my voice was so high, I sang with the women. I sang with the sopranos. And it didn't really get lower until into my 20s, when I'm still a soprano, not like Jimmy Fortune, but I will sing, but I'll sing some high notes. But I remember all of that time. I lived right near McClellan and Mayfair Air Force Base in Sacramento, California, and I formed a little band in junior high school and high school called the Apollos, and we would work dances out at the air bases. And my bass player at the time was a member of the Air National Guard in California, and we had to give up a week a month. And I said, that's a heck of a sacrifice, you know, because I can't work for that week. And then after we started playing the dances, and we saw some guys who got wounded and some guys who had to be deployed for a long time, I said, that's really a sacrifice. Well, now, I went to Vegas, and I stayed in the Nevada casinos for almost 20 years. I worked alongside some of the greats. I saw Elvis, of course. I was working in the same hotel with Bill Medley as was my star attraction in the lounge at the Flamingo Hotel, and he was in the main room, Elvis. And I used to sneak in and see his show sometimes, and he did the trilogy. And as I saw the trilogy being performed, I said, boy, if I ever get a chance, I'm going to close my show with the trilogy. Because I said, it says so much. It talks about the roots of America, and with the Alhambra Republic, part of that. And lo and behold, I get a career later. And I end up coming to Nashville, Tennessee, and moved here with a pickup truck and about $100. And started my career at MCA with Reba McEntire, George Strait, the Ogre Boys, and Barbara Mandrell. And we all had similar careers, but kind of different in how our records came. And as I'm touring around the world, around the United States like a crazy man, I ran into these guys called the Gatlin Brothers. And we started chasing them red buses around, you know, like I could hardly catch them with our buses. And one night in between Arkansas and Texas, I sat down and I wrote, God Bless USA. I had a piano in the back of my bus where I toured with the crew, and I put it up on my knees, and I would play with headphones on so I wouldn't disturb anybody in the bus. And I wrote this song one night, and I brought it home. Jerry Crutchfield, my producer, bless his heart, he believed in me and anything I wanted to do. And I think it was our third or fourth album because we had a platform to deliver whatever I wanted to deliver. And we had like 7 or 8 hits, and so I said, I think I want to do this. I want to write this song. He said, well, he said, I believe in you, and I believe in what you want to do with it. And so we took this song to Los Angeles, and I had the cassette tape in my pocket of it. And we asked to play Halloween Night, Solid Gold, and Marilyn McCoo, who was a friend of mine from Vegas with the Fifth Dimension, was hosting the show. And so at the end of the show, I sang one of my country hits. She gives me a bottle of champagne, and that was my gift. And I'm starting to leave. I go out to the limo, and I got about 4 hours till the red-eye. Red-eye flight out of Los Angeles coming back home. And I looked at my limo driver. I said, where does Irving Azoff live? Irving Azoff was the president of Universal and also controlled all of MCA. Now, MCA Nashville Records was actually a separate part, and we liked to do things on our own. We didn't like to be influenced nor controlled by LA, even though that was the profit center. And so he said, he lives between Neil Diamond and Barbra Streisand in Hollywood. I said, take me there. Wow. Halloween night. Limo pulls up in front of his house. We're on a street. There's no gated community. Cool. 10 yards to his front door. Yeah. He's standing in the front door, and his 3 kids are dressed as bumblebees going out to trick or treat. He looks at the limo, sees it. I get out of the car, and I walk right up to him. He waits till I get right within eye shot, and I take out the tape out of my pocket, and I have the bottle of champagne. What do you think I said?
Trick or treat.
Trick or treat.
Awesome.
Had you met him before? Did he know who you were?
He said, who are you? I said, I'm Lee Greenwood. I'm on your label in Nashville. He said, I've heard your name. Come on in. Halloween night. His kids are trick-or-treating. Come on in the house. So we go in the house. He sticks the tape, cassette tape, sticks it in tape, and he sits there and listens to it all. This is before, no, you had already sang. I had called these guys, the Gatlin brothers sang on the original recording of God Bless the USA, and they were signed to Columbia, and they weren't supposed to do this, and because they're stars, and they snuck in the studio one night and sang background for me on the original recording of God Bless USA. Larry Gatlin, Steve, and Rudy. And I can't thank you enough for making that
Bless
song.
you, brother. We can't thank you enough for writing it, my friend.
And when we played that tape, and Irving Azoff said, let me see, what we want to do with it. That's just one of the steps along the way, of course. End result is USA was finally released as the single that year, and then a lot of things that followed. The Democrats and the Republicans tried to use it politically. I said absolutely not. It was then absolutely used in the president's life film, Ronald Reagan's. Of course, I was a fan of Ronald Reagan's because I worked on his gubernatorial campaign in California, and they never forgot that. And so as we move forward, there were things then that brought God Bless USA more to the forefront, and that is my USO tours that Aaron and many of us have been on, the Gatlins. Mark Will's been on a lot of those tours. And as Rhonda pointed out, you start singing with soldiers, that stand up proudly and sing in a uniform, and they salute you because of who you are and what you do. Yeah, it's a moving moment.
You must have sung that song, no telling how many thousands of times. If you had to pick one moment where you sang that, I know you've sung it at the White House. Where would be the most special moment that Lee Greenwood ever stood on a stage and sang that song?
That's a lot of performances. I'd have to say the opening of the Ronald Reagan Library in Simi Valley, California. When Johnny Grant, the mayor of Hollywood, came to me and said, I want you to sing God Bless USA for 5 presidents and 6 first ladies. It's the only time it'll probably ever happen. Wow. And I was the only one on the podium besides all of them. And so he said, but here's the catch. I want them to stand up because I got 4 Navy jets in Simi Valley going to fly overhead when they all stand up. I said, how am I going to get the president to stand up? No, the presidents to stand up. Yeah. And so, and I'd worked with the Reagan campaign, with the Bush campaign. This time, President Bush is president, and President Reagan he's retired already, but it's his day. Now, I know working with Ronald Reagan as an actor, he wouldn't necessarily engage you. He knew how to be aloof. He knew how to make you feel good about himself and go to the next person. George Bush was exactly opposite. He'll grab you and make you feel like one of the family. So I'm singing along. I got Nixon, Ford, and Carter directly behind me. Reagan and Bush is down to my right, and Lady Bird Johnson down at the end.
Wow.
And so I'm already overwhelmed. I mean, you know, how many presidents can you salute, you know? And so I'm trying to keep it together. I'm singing, and as I look down, I get to a line of my song that says, I'd gladly stand up next to you. And what I wrote that line for was so all Americans could stand shoulder to shoulder like my father did in World War II and fight for our freedom. And so I look down the line, and I'll be darned if I don't get eye contact with Ronald Reagan. He looks straight at me. And I'm like, I'll gladly stand up. You know, and he stands up. I'm like, are you kidding me? And so then Bush stands up because he's his friend and now president. Well, the president stands up, everybody stands up. Here comes the 4 jets out of Simi Valley right over the top. It's like, so, and it took me 7 years to get the picture because it was a gaggle of cameras and not one of them would give up that picture. And I finally got the picture. But
wow.
Anyway, that's
a great moment.
What an incredible story. What an incredible song. Sing it for us.
May I? Thank you. Go ahead.
Lee Greenwood.
Go ahead.
Wow.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota, I love this part, to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Lee Greenwood, man. You might have played that for larger audiences, but you never played it for one that was any more touched by it.
Amen,
Thank you.
brother.
And
Thank you.
agrees with you and believes in you. Thank you so much for being on the... We've tried to get you on these family reunions, and we've just never had any luck till today.
Well, I'm still working. And I hope I keep working.
I hope you do too. and
I
you
can't
will.
wait to see who's going to sing next, to tell you the truth. There's so much great talent here. This is amazing.
Well, nobody is going to follow you right this moment.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us for this presentation of God Bless America again as we celebrate 250 years of the United States being a country. If you liked what you saw, make sure and like and subscribe, and certainly enjoy our Country's Family Reunion YouTube channel every day as we post new songs all the time. If you like this, you're going to love that. Thanks for watching.